No one noticed the child at first. The city of Ardent 9 was loud that night. Rain fell hard against metal streets. Neon lights reflected in water on the ground. Air vehicles moved above like bright stars. People hurried home before the storm became worse. At the outer security gate, something small stood alone. It was a dragon child. The guards did not see it clearly in the heavy rain. They thought it was just a lost street kid. The child wore torn clothes. Its hood covered most of its face. It looked weak, thin, cold, but the scanners above the gate flickered red. Inside the control tower, Aaron Vale looked up from his work screen. Aaron was not a soldier. He was not important. He was just a systems engineer. He repaired broken security systems and power grids. Most days were boring, but tonight, something strange appeared on his monitor. A warning code. Unknown energy signature. Ancient genetic marker detected. Royal bloodline probability. 99.7%. Aaron frowned. That can't be right, he whispered. Royal blood? There had not been a royal dragon inside human territory for over 100 years. He zoomed the camera toward the gate. The rain moved aside for a second, and Aaron saw glowing eyes under the hood. Gold. Not normal gold. Bright, ancient, powerful gold. His heart skipped. Outside, one guard finally noticed the child. Hey, you can't stand here, the guard shouted through the rain. This is restricted space. The child did not answer. It did not move. The guard stepped closer, annoyed. Go back to the outer zone. This area is not for you. Still nothing. But the gate scanners began to hum louder. Energy levels rising. The guard's wrist device beeped. He looked confused, then nervous. Inside the tower, Aaron's screen flashed again. Royal Imperial Seal detected. Aaron felt cold. High above the clouds, far beyond human sight, something else was watching. A massive warship floated silently in orbit. Inside it, a tall figure sat on a throne made of dark crystal. The Dragon Emperor. His eyes were closed, but he could see everything through hidden satellites and drones. He saw the rain. He saw the guards. He saw the human engineer watching from the tower. And he saw the child. This is the one, the Emperor said quietly. The test had begun. Back at the gate, the guard were now uncomfortable. Call Central, one said. Something is wrong with the scanners. Aaron knew what would happen next. If Central Command saw those readings, military forces would arrive within minutes. And if the Empire found out humans captured royal blood, war would not be far behind. Aaron looked at the child again. It was shaking, not from fear, from cold. For a moment, Aaron remembered his own childhood. Being alone, being ignored. He made a decision. He disabled the alert system. System malfunction. He muttered into the guard channel. Probably rain interference. I'm resetting scanners. The guards relaxed slightly. Fine. Hurry up, one replied. But Aaron did not reset the scanners. He unlocked the gate. Metal doors slowly opened with a loud mechanical sound. The guards turned in shock. What are you doing? One shouted. Protocol 17. Aaron lied calmly. Lost miner. Temporary shelter allowed. That's not a miner, the other guard said. That's... He stopped speaking because the child lifted its head fully for the first time. Small horns curved slightly above its hairline. Not large, but real. The rain stopped around the child. Just for a second. The guard stepped back. Aaron spoke into the speaker near the gate. You can come inside, he said gently. The child looked toward the tower camera. It was not looking at the guards. It was looking directly at him, as if it knew. After a long moment, the child walked forward. Step by step. The guards did not stop it. They could not. Inside the tower, Aaron's heart beat faster. He did not know why he was doing this. He only knew one thing. Leaving that child outside felt wrong. When the child entered the gate, the energy readings spiked once more, then disappeared. Clean. Controlled. Too controlled. Far above the planet. The Dragon Emperor opened his eyes. Compassion, he said softly. Around him, ancient dragon generals watched the screens. Most humans fear us, one general said. They report us. They attack us. The Emperor nodded slowly. Yes. On the screen, Aaron walked down from the control tower to meet the child in person. He removed his jacket and placed it over the small shoulders. The child looked up at him, silent. studying him, testing him. Come, Aaron said. You're safe here. The dragon child followed him inside the tower. The heavy gate closed behind them. And at that exact moment, deep in space, ancient symbols began to glow around the Emperor's throne. The first stage was complete, but this was only the beginning. The Dragon Emperor did not send the child to be saved. He sent it to judge. And somewhere inside that tower, a simple human engineer had just stepped into a test that could change the future of two species forever. The child did not speak. Not when Aaron gave it warm food. Not when he gave it dry clothes. Not even when he asked its name. It only watched. Its golden eyes followed every move he made. Aaron tried to act normal, but something felt different in the air. Heavy. Electric. The rain outside had stopped. Too suddenly. Inside the tower, system lights flickered for a second. Aaron checked the monitors. Nothing wrong. But deep inside the main server core, something had changed. A hidden signal was activated. Far above the planet, the Dragon Emperor leaned forward. The human opened the gate, one general said. Yes, the Emperor replied. But kindness is not enough. Back inside the tower, the child stood near the large window, staring at the city lights. Its small hand touched the glass. For a second, the glass frosted over. Aaron noticed. You're not normal, are you? He said quietly. The child slowly turned its head. Its eyes glowed brighter. For one brief moment, Aaron felt pressure in his chest. Not pain, just weight, like something ancient was measuring him. Then it stopped. The glow faded. The child sat down calmly, as if nothing happened. The first test. Later that night, Aaron received a private message on his system. Unknown source. He froze. Only High Command could send encrypted signals like this. The message had only one line. Return the asset immediately. Asset. They knew. Aaron looked toward the child. It was sitting on the floor, drawing strange symbols with its finger on the metal surface. The symbols glowed faint blue, then disappeared. He deleted the message. No reply. But he knew this was not over. Outside the tower, 3 black vehicles arrived silently. No city lights. No sirens. Imperial observers. They stayed at a distance. Watching. Waiting. The second test. Inside orbit, the Dragon Emperor gave a silent order. Increase pressure. Suddenly, power inside the outer colony dropped. Shops lost light. Homes went dark. People panicked. Emergency alerts spread through the streets. Aaron ran to his main console. Power grid overload? That makes no sense. He worked fast. If the system failed fully, thousands would suffer. He could send the dragon child away. He could save himself. No one would blame him. But he didn't. He focused on restoring power. For 2 hours straight, he repaired broken circuits manually. Sweat covered his face. His hands shook. Behind him, the child stood quietly, watching. The golden eyes did not blink. When Aaron finally restored the city's power, cheers echoed from outside. He leaned back in his chair, exhausted. You're still here, he said softly to the child. The child stepped closer, very close. And then, for the first time, it spoke. Why? The voice was calm, clear, not childish, ancient. Aaron blinked. Why what? Why protect them? The child asked. They fear you. They ignore you. They do not respect you. Aaron looked confused. They're my people, he answered simply. You protect your people. That's normal. The child studied his face deeply, as if searching for lies. There were none. The third test. Without warning, the tower alarm screamed. Multiple heat signatures approaching at high speed. Not human. Dragon-class warriors. The sky outside turned red again. Citizens ran in fear. Aaron's screen showed armed dragon units descending from the clouds. This is insane, he whispered. The child did not move. This is part of it, the child said quietly. Aaron turned slowly. Part of what? Your judgment. Before he could respond, the tower door exploded open. 3 dragon soldiers stepped inside. Tall, armored, eyes burning like fire. Their leader spoke coldly. Human Aaron Vale. You're accused of hiding royal blood. The air felt heavy again. One soldier raised a weapon. Kneel. Aaron looked at the child. The child did not look afraid. It looked curious, watching what he would do next. Aaron's heart pounded. He was not a warrior. He had no army, only a choice. He slowly stepped in front of the child. "I won't kneel," he said. The soldier's eyes flared brighter. Outside, cameras across the empire activated. The entire Dragon Empire began watching live. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. There it is, he thought. The moment. Aaron stood alone before 3 elite dragon soldiers. No weapons in his hands. Only fear in his chest. But he did not move aside. He did not beg. He did not betray. Behind him, the child's golden eyes burned brighter than ever before. And far above the planet, the Dragon Emperor finally stood from his throne. "Interesting," he whispered. "Very interesting." The dragon soldiers did not wait. The lead warrior stepped forward, tall and terrifying. His armor was black steel mixed with living flame. His eyes burned like twin suns. "Kneel," he repeated. Aaron did not move. His legs felt weak. His heart was racing. Every survival instinct inside him screamed to step aside. But he stayed where he was. Behind him, the child stood silent. Watching, always watching. The soldier raised his weapon. A spear of condensed fire formed in his hand. The heat alone cracked the metal floor beneath his feet. Outside, the sky split open. Red lightning spread across the clouds. People in the city fell to their knees in fear. "This is madness," Aaron whispered. The second soldier activated a gravity field. The air grew heavy. Aaron felt his body press downward. His knees trembled. "You protect what is not yours," the soldier said coldly. "You interfere in imperial matters." Aaron swallowed. "It came to my gate," he said. "Cold. Alone." The third soldier's eyes narrowed. "It is not alone." And suddenly, time slowed. The rain outside stopped midair. The red lightning froze across the sky. The soldiers became motionless statues. Aaron could still breathe, still move, but everything else was frozen. He turned slowly. The child was glowing. Not faint gold, blinding. Its small body lifted slightly above the ground. Its eyes were no longer soft. They were ancient. "Your heart did not break," the child said calmly. The voice was not small anymore. It was powerful, deep, echoing. Aaron stepped back, confused. "What is happening?" The child tilted its head. "This is the final stage of observation." Around them, invisible screens appeared in the air. Images flashed across them, scenes Aaron did not understand. Humans betraying dragons. Dragons burning human cities. Centuries of war. Hatred. Fear. "For thousands of years," the child said, "my kind has studied yours." Aaron stared. "You sent me to judge you." "You sent yourself," the child corrected. "You chose." The frozen dragon soldiers shattered into particles of light. They were never real, only projections. Aaron felt anger rise. So this was all fake? A game. The child's glow dimmed slightly. "No, the danger is real." And as if answering those words, the ground trembled. The tower shook violently. Time resumed. The red lightning continued crashing across the sky. But now something else appeared. Not 3 soldiers. Not projections. An entire dragon fleet broke through the clouds. Massive warships. Hundreds of them. The real army. Sirens screamed across the city. Citizens ran in panic. Aaron stared at the sky in horror. "You said this was a test." "It was," the child replied. "It still is." The child stepped forward, and then something impossible happened. Its small form began to change. Light wrapped around its body like burning silk. The horns grew longer. Wings unfolded behind it. Energy pulsed through the tower walls. Aaron shielded his eyes. When the light faded, the child was no longer small. Before him stood a young dragon royal, taller, glowing with golden armor made of pure energy. The crown heir. Aaron's voice shook. "You're not just a child. I'm the Emperor's blood," the heir said calmly. The dragon fleet in the sky aimed weapons toward the city. "Your world stands at the edge," the heir continued. "If you failed, this city would burn tonight." Aaron felt cold. "And if I passed?" The heir looked at him deeply. "Then you stand between 2 empires." Suddenly, a massive presence filled the sky. The clouds tore open. A single colossal dragon descended slowly from orbit. Its wings blocked the moonlight. Its eyes were older than stars. The Dragon Emperor himself. Every screen across the empire turned live. Billions watched. The Emperor's voice echoed across the planet. Human Aaron Vale. Aaron felt small under that gaze. You were given fear. You were given pressure. You were given power to betray. You chose none of it. The fleet held position. Weapons still charged. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. But one final truth remains. The heir turned toward Aaron. If war begins now, the heir said softly, your people will suffer first. The Emperor's voice thundered again. Will you stand with us or against us? Silence filled the broken sky. Aaron understood. This was no longer about kindness. No longer about courage. It was about choosing a side. Humanity, or something greater. The fleet's cannons glowed brighter. The city trembled. The heir's golden eyes locked with Aaron's. Speak carefully, the heir warned. Above them, the Dragon Emperor waited. And the next words from a simple human engineer would decide the fate of two civilizations. The sky was still burning red. The Dragon Emperor hovered above the city like a living storm. His wings covered half the horizon. His golden eyes were fixed on one small human standing on a tower. Aaron Vale felt the weight of 1,000 weapons aimed at his world. The dragon fleet's cannons glowed brighter. One command, and the city would turn to ash. The crown heir stood beside him, silent now. Watching closely, will you stand with us? The Emperor's voice echoed again. Or against us? It sounded simple, but it was not. If Aaron said yes, the Empire would protect the city, but humans would become subjects. Controlled. Watched. Owned. If he said no, war would begin tonight. Aaron's hands trembled, but then something inside him became calm. He looked at the heir. Then he looked up at the Emperor. I will not stand against my people, he said clearly. A shockwave of whispers moved across the dragon fleet. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. And yet, Aaron continued, louder now. I will not kneel to protect them either. The heir's golden eyes flickered. The fleet cannons brightened. The generals around the Emperor shifted in anger. You speak boldly for someone who can be erased, one general growled. Aaron took one step forward to the edge of the tower. If protection means fear, it is not protection. The city below had gone silent. Even humans were watching now through public broadcasts. I opened my gate because it was right, Aaron continued. Not because I wanted power. Not because I wanted alliance. Not because I was afraid. He looked directly into the Emperor's burning eyes. And I will not choose between being ruled or being destroyed. The sky rumbled violently. The Emperor's wings expanded fully. You reject our offer? He asked slowly. I reject fear, Aaron answered. The heir turned toward the Emperor. Something unspoken passed between them. The fleet's weapons began charging to maximum levels. Red targeting lines appeared across the city. Citizens screamed below. The general smiled slightly. This is the true nature of humans, one said. Pride. But the heir did not smile. Instead, the heir stepped forward, wings spreading wide. No, the heir said clearly. This is something else. The heir looked at Aaron again. You do not seek protection. You do not seek dominance. What do you seek, human? Aaron breathed slowly. Respect. The word echoed across open space. Simple. Clear. Respect. The Dragon Emperor did not move. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, Aaron's tower alarm screamed again. But this time, the warning was different. Unknown warp signatures detected. Not dragon. Not human. Something else had entered orbit. The fleet scanners began flashing rapidly. The generals looked confused. The Emperor turned his head slightly. From deep space, dark ships appeared, larger than any dragon warship. Black metal, no energy signature, no flags, an ancient enemy. The Void Dominion, one dragon general whispered in horror. The heir's expression changed for the first time. Serious. They followed us. Aaron stared at the sky. You brought them here? The Emperor's voice lowered. They were watching our test. The dark ships aimed weapons toward both the dragon fleet and the human city. A new voice echoed across every screen. Cold. Mechanical. Two civilizations. One planet. Efficient. Weapons powered up. Aaron realized the truth. This was never just about dragons and humans. Someone else was waiting for weakness, waiting for division. The heir looked at Aaron urgently. Your answer has changed everything. The Emperor's golden eyes locked onto Aaron once more. You spoke of respect. Now prove it. The dragon fleet shifted formation, not toward the city, toward the incoming dark ships. The generals looked shocked. You would defend them? One asked. The Emperor's voice was absolute. They stood without kneeling. That earns response. Aaron stared at the sky as dragon warships moved to shield the planet. The heir stepped closer to him. You refused fear. Now you must refuse surrender. Below, human defense systems activated for the first time in history, not against dragons. But beside them, Aaron looked at the heir. What happens now? The heir's golden eyes burned brighter than ever. Now, the heir said quietly, we fight together. Above them, the first void weapon fired. A beam of black energy cut through space. And the war that was meant to divide two species had just forced them into alliance. The first void beam tore through space. It hit a dragon warship directly. The explosion shook the sky. Fire rained down like burning stars. People in the city screamed. Dragon fleets shifted quickly, forming a defensive wall above the planet. Their golden shields lit up the night. But the void ships were silent. Cold. Precise. They fired again. 3 more beams. One dragon cruiser shattered in seconds. The dragon emperor roared, and the sound alone pushed shockwaves across the clouds. Engage! Dragon cannons answered with rivers of fire. For the first time in history, dragon warships were not aiming at humans. They were protecting them. On the ground, Aaron stood frozen for 1 second. Then training and instinct took over. He ran back inside the control tower. All city defense grids online. He shouted into the emergency channel. Military leaders hesitated. Are we fighting the dragons? Or with them? One officer asked. Aaron looked at the sky. With them, he said firmly. Human missile systems launched upward. Energy shields activated around major buildings. The sky became a battlefield of gold and red against deep black. Beside the tower, the crown heir rose into the air. Wings spread wide, glowing brighter than before. The heir joined the fight directly. Golden energy shot from their hands, slicing through a void fighter ship. But the void ships adapted quickly. They changed formation. They stopped targeting dragons. They aimed at the city below. They want civilians, Aaron whispered in horror. The void beam charged above the main district. There was not enough time. Dragon ships were too far. Human missiles were too slow. The beam fired, but it never reached the ground, because something stood in its path. The crown heir. The beam hit the air directly. A flash of white light filled the sky. Aaron's heart stopped. When the light faded, the air was falling. Wings burned. Energy fading. The dragon emperor roared again, louder than before. The sound cracked windows across the city. Aaron didn't think. He ran outside and activated the emergency landing pad. Here, he shouted, even though the air could not hear. The air crashed onto the pad. Hard. The impact shook the tower. Aaron rushed forward. The heir's golden armor flickered weakly. You should not have done that, Aaron said. The heir's eyes were still glowing, but softer now. I told you, respect must be proven. Another void beam began charging above them. The emperor was too far. The dragon fleet was surrounded. This one shot would destroy the tower. Destroy the heir. Destroy Aaron. Aaron looked at the sky, then at the tower systems, then at the air. He made the fastest decision of his life. He ran inside and overloaded the tower's core reactor. Warning alarm screamed. Core meltdown in 60 seconds. He connected the core energy directly to the planetary shield grid. It was unstable. It could explode, but it would create one massive shield pulse. He stepped back outside. The void beam fired. At the same moment, Aaron triggered the core. A blinding wall of blue energy erupted from the tower. The beam hit the shield and exploded across the sky. The shock wave knocked Aaron to the ground. The tower behind him burst into flames. Silence followed, then cheers from the city. The void beam had failed. The Dragon Emperor turned his full power toward the void fleet. Enough, he said. He flew forward alone. Golden fire, unlike anything seen before, erupted from his body. One massive void capital ship split in half. The remaining void ships retreated. Warp signatures vanished. The skies slowly returned to normal. Smoke drifted. Broken ships fell like silent comets. The war was over. For now. The Emperor descended slowly toward the burning tower. Humans and dragons watched together. Aaron struggled to stand. The heir was still alive, barely. The Emperor landed before them. His massive form folded slightly. He looked at the heir first, then at Aaron. "You risked your life," the Emperor said quietly. Aaron shook his head. "I protected my people." The Emperor's golden eyes softened. "And you protected mine?" For a long moment, the entire planet waited. Then something happened that no dragon general expected. The Dragon Emperor bowed, fully, before a human. Gasps spread across every dragon ship, across every human screen. "Today," the Emperor declared, "the Empire does not gain a subject. It gains an equal." He looked at Aaron. "You refused fear. You chose respect. And when tested by war, you chose unity." The crown heir slowly stood with the Emperor's help. The heir looked at Aaron and smiled faintly. The test is complete. Below them, humans and dragons stood in silence. Centuries of distrust cracked in one night. Aaron looked up at the sky that almost destroyed him. "You sent a child," he said quietly. The Emperor nodded. "Yes." "And the result?" The Emperor's voice carried across both fleets. "The result shocked the Empire." He turned to his generals. "From this day forward, humanity stands beside us. Not under, not above, beside." The burning tower behind Aaron collapsed slowly, but something greater had been built in its place. Not alliance, not control, but respect. And high above the planet, the Dragon Empire recorded this day in its ancient history as the day a human refused to kneel and changed the future of two civilizations forever.